On January 25th, 2001, the director of the National Security Council, Richard Clarke, submits a proposal to National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice and urgently asks for a cabinet-level meeting on the al-Qaeda threat. He forwards his December 2000 strategy paper and a copy of his 1998 Delinda Plan. He lays out a proposal agenda for urgent action. 1. Approve covert assistance to Ahmad Shah Massoud's Northern Alliance fighting the Taliban. 2. Significantly increase funding for CIA counterterrorism activity. 3. Respond to the US's Cole bombing with an attack on al-Qaeda. The link between al-Qaeda and that bombing had been assumed for months, and it's confirmed in the media 2 days later. According to the Washington Post, Clarke argued that the camps can't miss targets, and they matter. The facilities amount to conveyor belts for al-Qaeda's human capital, with raw recruits arriving and trained fighters departing either for front lines against the Northern Alliance, the Afghan rebel coalition, or against American interests elsewhere. 4. Go forward with the Predator drone reconnaissance missions in the spring and used an armed version when it is ready. 5. Step up the fight against terrorist funding. 6. Be aware that al-Qaeda sleeper cells in the United States are not just a potential threat, but they are a major threat in being. Additionally, more attacks have almost certainly been set in motion. These points come from the 9/11 Commission report dated March 24th, 2004. According to the Washington Post, dated January 20th, 2002, Rice's response to Clarke's proposal is that the cabinet will not address the issue until it has been framed at the deputy secretary level. However, this initial deputy meeting is not given high priority, and it does not take place until April of 2001. Henry Shelton, the Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman until September 11th, says the squeaky wheel was Dick Clarke, but he wasn't at the top of their priority list, so the lights went out for a few months. Richard did a pretty good job because he's abrasive as hell, but given the bureaucratic level he was at, there was no progress. Some counterterrorism officials think the new administration responds slowly simply because Clarke's proposal originally came from the Clinton administration. For instance, Thomas Martinson on the National Security Council in both the Clinton and Bush administrations say, quote, they really believed their campaign rhetoric about the Clinton administration. So anything that administration did was bad, and the Bushes were not going to repeat it. On March 7th, 2001, Deputy National Security Steve Hadley chairs an informal meeting of some counterparts from other agencies to discuss al-Qaeda. They begin a broad review of the government's approach to al-Qaeda and Afghanistan. According to the New York Times, dated April 4th, 2004, the approach is two-pronged and includes a crisis warning effort to deal with immediate threats and long-range planning by senior counter officials to put into place a comprehensive strategy to eradicate al-Qaeda. However, also in the month of March of 2001, Taliban envoy Rahmatullah Hashimi meets with reporters and a middle-ranking State Department bureaucrat and private Afghan experts in Washington. He carries a gift carpet and a letter from Afghan leader Mullah Omar for President Bush. He discusses turning over bin Laden, but wants the United States to be handed over bin Laden, and the Taliban want him handed over to some third country. A CIA official would later say, we never heard what they were trying to say. We had no common language. Ours was, give up bin Laden. They were saying, do something to help us give him up. I had no doubts they wanted to get rid of him. He was a pain in the neck. Others claimed the Taliban were never sincere.